Hey, we're live. Play it every time I go live. Hey, we're live. Hey, we're live. It's not Sunday, but I am live today. And that is because it's August, and it's the second week of August. So it means that schools are preparing to reopen or restart, whatever facet that may be. And I think there's a really important topic to discuss regarding that reopening. So there are a lot of things with reopening, at least this year, that seem to be out of our control, and most years. But there is one thing that is within our control, and this one thing really impacts students' ability to focus and learn and attend, as well as your own stress response and their stress response, and keeping kind of levels more neutral and the emotional temperature of the room more neutral. So, what is that one thing? The one thing is your room design. So whether you are designing your classroom because kids are going to show up in your classroom, or you are designing a space in which you will work, or you're talking to parents about how to design a working space for their child, there are some elements of those design areas that you need to consider. And the reason for that being because our brains biologically are focused on safety. So psychological safety and physical safety. And when we decorate and design our rooms each year, I know, did it many years in a row, and I actually used to really look forward to like all the banners and colors and posters and things and theming everything. Bulletin boards with the best themes. So much time spent on Pinterest, wasted on Pinterest, trying to find some really creative ideas for what to do for my bulletin board. I'm not even sure how many people noticed them. But I bring all of this up because it's considering all these areas of design: the sound, the temperature, the decor, the colors, the aromas. Like all of these design aspects are super important because they play into our safety. And that sounds kind of weird. You're like, what? She's crazy. How does that play into safety? So it plays into safety because there are certain things biologically that make you feel more comfortable. For example, like more open spaces, because when you have open spaces, biologically, hunter-gatherers, history, you can see what's coming at you. And so whether it be a classroom with more open space or just images of more open spaces internally, stress response-wise, that they feel more calming. So they'll bring the emotional temperature down. Other things like sound, like if the room is really loud internally, hunter-gatherers, again, used to be outside, it's quieter, you're in nature. Noise elevation or loud noises, we know really impacts the brain and the internal stress response. Okay, so those are just a few examples that play into safety that relate to your room design. So if you can design your room in such a way, with all these different aspects considered, that neutralize the stress response system and make students feel safe, then they're going to be ready to learn. Because their internal system won't be working to cool itself down. It'll already be neutral. You'll feel better because your system is more neutral. And if their internal system isn't focusing on safety and stress, they can focus on learning. So, such a cool area. And I feel like this is such a good month to talk about this topic because we're going to be setting up rooms in some facet. And it's not only just a classroom, but your working space plays into that as well. So the way that you design where you work can either help you or hurt you in terms of, are you ready to teach, to learn, to present, all of those things. So being really intentional about designing those spaces with all these different aspects in mind. So we're going to talk about a couple of different aspects throughout the week, next couple of weeks, next month really. But I wanted to really dig into one of these. So I know that everyone's starting to think about designing the room, or maybe already have started to set up their room. So I'm going to, and it should be on here, a link to a webinar I'm going to hold, not this Friday, but next Friday. So same time as our Lunch and Learns, 12:30 to 1:30. It's probably going to be a little bit longer, closer to an hour versus our normal like 30, 45 minutes. But free webinar on the topic of room design, because I want to share all these biohacks with you about room design and how to get kids to stay more emotionally neutral so that you can do the thing that you love, which is teaching.